Okay, this is Dr. Sato from Peak Force, and today we have an opportunity to share some information about young athletes to do the weight training.
所以今天我们跟大家谈的是，到底青少年选手做体能训练、做重量训练，到底会不会真的对他们产生这样的所谓的身高的影响呢？会有产生哪些影响呢？
I know there's an issue about the misconception about how much should they do the weight training or how young they should start to do weight training. So we were using evidence-based information and inform you guys what the appropriate approach is.
很多人会怀疑啊，说到底青少年选手适不适合做重训，或者到底要怎么做才不会过量呢？那今天呢，Dr. Sato 用所谓的以科学证据为基础的这个论述的方式来回答这些问题。
Yes, actually, we have a lot of research being done in this matter, whether it's for the athletic population in the youth level or even for the normal general population kids. It's actually very beneficial to do physical training even in a younger age.
事实上呢，在过去这么多年来呢，国内外有非常多的论文啊、研究呢显示啊，不管你的孩子是所谓的专业的青少年运动员，或者只是一般的这个平常只是念书偶尔运动的孩子，如果适当的做这些体能训练、重量训练呢，会帮助到你孩子呢在非常多面向的成长跟进步。
So the first question, actually back to the people who are watching this, is the maturity level of the kids. Okay, how mature are they from the physical perspective, but also the mental perspective? The mental means that when they come to the fitness gym or weight room, for example, downstairs in a facility, how can they behave in a good manner in order to follow our guideline? You know, if they're not mentally mature enough, of course they're not ready to do weight training.
好，在回答这个问题之前，大家先做了一个定义哦，就是说，不是讨论你的生理年龄，讨论是你的孩子在心理上面跟身体上面呢，他目前呢是不是已经准备好了？比如说刚提到，如果你的孩子来到训练中心的时候呢，他的不遵守规定啊，到处的玩耍啊，甚至可能不遵守教练的这个指导啊，产生这些错误的动作啊，这样的孩子，就算他年纪已经非常大了，他也是不适合做这个训练的。
The physical maturity really depends on age. But when you talk about age, there's a difference between the chronological age and the biological age. Okay? I have seen some kids who are 10 years old who are really tall compared to some 10 years old really small. So biologically, there's some variations in that age group. So again, we don't decide by the age. We decide by the physical and then mental maturity.
好，那我们再深入的解释一下这件事情呢。我们并不是看你的小孩从出生到现在到底几天、几个月、几年了。好，比如说假设我是2000年出生，那现在是2020就20岁。它的定义不是这样，它的定义是看你身体真正的能力跟状态到哪里，而并不是看你实际年龄几岁。因为有些人10岁身体长得非常好，有些人15岁但是还是长得发育没有很完全，这每个人是不一样的，所以教练必须有能力判断出到底这个小朋友的身体的状态适不适合做训练。
So a lot of misconception out there because I heard from the parents and coaches that when they are young and then start doing weight training, I hear a lot of parents saying that, oh, it's going to actually stop their growing process. So maybe weight training is actually dangerous for their growth level. Actually, this is not true from the research-based information.
很多的教练啊、家长，甚至很多的这些讨论说，哦，如果太早做、过早做体能训练、重量训练呢，会让孩子长不高。根据所有的这些研究的资料证明，这是完全是一个谬论，这是没有任何科学证据为基础的一个说法。
Same thing about weight training actually makes your muscle tighter. And then this is also not true because if you actually look at some of the acrobatic sports athletes, for example, like gymnasts, I've seen and I've been involved in some of the gymnastic athletes in the junior level in the USA. There are some muscular kids who are super flexible. So again, this comes down to the specificity of what they do. just because you do weight training, that doesn't mean that your muscle or joint gets stiffer.
有另外一种比较常常听到的说法是说，因为做了重训啊，你的肌肉会变得很紧绷，你的关节活动度会变得很差，这也是完全取决于你的训练方法的这个差异。比如说，当时过去在训练美国体操队的时候，美国体操队的选手的肌力也发展得非常好，他们需要很多的跳跃下半身支撑能力，但是他们的关节活动度也非常好，因为体操选手的关节活动度肯定的也非常好的，所以并不代表你做了重量训练，你的肌肉就一定会紧绷，你的关节活动就一定会变差，这个完全还是回到你的训练是否正确为主。
And then this type of information is not actually coming from my own opinion. Okay? These are actually coming from a lot of different textbooks targeting that level of audience for youth athletes training. So, for example, we have several textbooks talking about the junior athletes, how strength and conditioning is appropriate for young athletes. Okay? And then also, you have a textbook for youth fitness for the general population of normal kids.
所以呢，刚刚所说的这些论点都不是达到一个人自己凭空发明的，而是有非常多的研究，甚至书本书籍在谈这些议题。比如说，在左边这一本就是专门在讨论青少年运动员的肌力体能训练对他们的帮助的。右边这一本也是在美国出版，是在谈说，就算你不是运动员，青少年运动员，你是一般的小朋友，这些所谓的 fitness 的 training 对你的孩子哪些的帮助，哪些的这个正面的影响。所以说呢，不管是青少年运动员也好，或者是只是一般的孩子也好，事实上正确适当的体能训练呢，肌力训练，这个阻力训练对你都是有帮助的。
So my point is, it's not the one information for all. Okay? For example, strength and conditioning for the junior athletes and then the normal population of kids. Okay? This information is not equal. Okay? They are separated because there are different ways, different variations to target this kind of population compared to this kind of population. So again, the one answer cannot fit the both sides. There's a different information for this side and then this side.
另外一个要强调的是呢，训练学的运动员，又是不同专项的运动员，以训练一般的小朋友，事实上里面书籍里面所谈到的训练的方法跟训练的内容的这个方法是有点不太一样。整体概念是相同，但是它的整个建议的这些训练的内容跟动作模式呢，其实是不太一样的。所以说，就算都是针对青少年的这个年纪呢，针对不同的目的所提到的内容还是会是不一样的。
So let's take a look at some information here. This one from the textbook information. The key information, it says that strength and conditioning is now well recognized for both safe and effective for children and adolescents, okay? Meaning teenagers, okay? When appropriately designed and supervised by qualified professionals and consistent with the needs, goals, and abilities for each individual. It means that if you're actually getting some advice from the qualified professionals, such as our coaches, okay, you get a good guideline to help the youth athletes to train better.
好，这边呢稍微再讲更深入一点哦。这个书上有提到呢，肌力体能训练呢已经被承认，已经被证实了，不但是安全的，而且是有效的。对于所谓的小朋友是12岁以下或者是青少年，但是这个前提是你必须在正确的指导下，被谁指导呢？被专业拿到证照的专业的教练来指导，而且这个指导是考虑到你的需求、考虑到你的目标，跟考虑到你个人能力。所以也就是说，在这个条件跟情境下面呢，只要这个教练是专业的，是有一定的证照跟经验基础跟知识基础的，事实上肌力体能训练对你的孩子是会产生很大的帮助的。
And then this is also a very interesting point for the viewers about the age group. Okay? Last 4 weeks, I'm training some of the junior athletes talking about the badminton players in elementary school or speed skaters up to some of the adult age. Okay? When I consider the age, if they can actually follow my instruction, okay, and then if they can actually do those exercises, okay, with a good posture, good habit, I think it's okay. the youngest one I had, actually the speed skater, he was actually 6 years old. Okay, he followed my instruction. He can do some exercise, some are challenging, but at least he follows. So he qualified to be in that weight room with me.
好呢，在过去4周呢，Dr. Sato 亲自的指导台湾的一些运动员，其中包括羽球选手跟竞速溜冰的选手，都是年纪非常轻，都12岁以上。其中有一位甚至是6岁的竞速溜冰选手。这些孩子呢，在他的指导下面呢，在这所谓的微用，在这个训练环境里面呢，非常的守秩序，重视安全，然后认真做动作。虽然说这个6岁的选手在某些动作模式上面可能不太适应，他还需要比较多的努力，但是呢，他认真的做，动作模式也正确，事实上是完全安全，不会产生任何问题的。
And then let's talk about more for the general population from the health perspective. Okay, not only about the physical capability like we talk about the athletic population in the youth athletes, but from the health perspective, okay, by doing the physical activities, okay, you can improve the body composition, meaning that your body is going to be much fitter. Also helps your bone strength, okay, and then also the psychosocial well-being, meaning that psychologically, mentally, you get a lot tougher. And then, of course, it's going to lower down your cardiovascular risk as a child. Okay, so there's a lot of health benefits by participating some physical activities.
我想这边的这个资讯对可能大部分家长更重要，因为毕竟大部分的孩子并不是青少年运动员。有一个研究呢，针对青少年不是运动员的青少年做一个研究呢，适当的重量训练、体能训练可以帮助你身体呢有更好的这个组成、更好的这个姿势。再来，你的这个骨骼的力量会增加，更重要的是你的心理的满足度会提高，这就非常重要了。再来，降低你的心血管疾病的几率。这4项呢，我相信对所有的家长来说都是正面指标。如果你的孩子接受适当的体能训练、重量训练的话，能够帮助你的孩子在这个市面上这4个指标上的进展跟进步。
Especially, I want to point out about this bone strength because I hear a lot of parents in Asian countries, especially, saying that weight training bad for the bones. They start growing. Okay, it's going to damage the bone. But a lot of research is actually finding that doing any physical training, including the strength training, strengthens the bone. So it's actually opposite to what the general people have this conception. Okay, so this is actually what's called evidence-based information coming from the scientific evidence to show that it's actually very beneficial to do the resistance training.
好，那这里呢，大家要特地要提出一点，因为太多人提到说，因为过早做肌力训练啊、体能训练啊，会伤害骨骼啊，会受伤，会长不高。哦，那事实上，经过非常严谨的研究显示呢，适当的重量训练、体能训练会帮助你的青少年的这些孩子呢，在骨骼发展上面反而更健全、更完整。这反而是一个，所以跟大家所谣传的、大家所误以为的是完全相反的一个状态。
So let's go a little deep inside of the mechanism, okay? Some people say that, they're not ready for certain exercise. I agree, okay? But the concept, okay, looking at the different level of population, you're looking at some of the age group of like 5 to 11 years old boys to same age for the girls, okay? The next phase here is the teenagers, mainly who we train on a regular basis, and then adult age. If you actually look at some of the emphasis of weight training, the exercise selection might be very different compared to adult age to the teenagers, but the concept of gaining the strength, okay, doing the sport-specific skills, okay, looking at the power improvement, they're all same. Okay? Exercise selection is the only difference, but the concept and an approach should be the similar pattern for adult age.
好，从这张图做更深入的讨论呢，这张图呢，这个 level 是属于10到20岁之间啊，然后呢，这个更上面就成人就是20岁以上了，男女生有点差别的年纪，但是相差不大。那我们看一下哦，这个所谓能够做的这个项目，事实上是非常接近的。 所以概念是一样的，差别只在于训练强度跟训练动作的模式的选择的不同而已。也就是说呢，对于青少年运动员跟成人，你能够做的这个训练的这个概念所使用的概念是一模一样，只是你因为他们不同年纪、不同的程度、不同的状态，只有选择不同的训练跟动作模式而已。
And so it is an important message for the viewers that the concept of approach is very similar, exercise selection is different. What that means is you cannot find what exercise is best for the kids off the Google. Okay? My recommendation, don't Google best exercise for the kids. Understand the concept of this priority and then let the qualified professional help you guide your kids to train properly.
所以呢，这里我们再讲更深一点，一模一样的训练的概念跟观点，但是动作选择模式会因人而异，因年纪不同，你的项目的不同等等不同而已。所以呢，刚Dr. Sato 提到一件事情，绝对不要试图从 Google 上面找到所谓的最佳训练方法或最佳训练动作或最佳训练模式，这个是不可能的事情，也不现实。所以呢，他说呢，不要尝试想在 Google 上找到简单的答案，你应该要找到专业的教练，跟他们讨论之后，从这些专业教练身上能够找到最好的训练方法。
Another research is showing that if you actually engage in any physical training, I'm not talking about using the machines or doing Olympic lifting. I'm talking about the basic resistance training in an early age group, okay? You're going to be able to gain the motor pattern, okay? Meaning that your neurological process as well as your muscular strength is going to be higher than the other kids who don't do anything.
好，这个图更有趣了。这张图所显现的是呢，如果你及早一点的介入肌力体能训练的专业训练的模式的话，事实上对你的肌肉神经系统的刺激、骨骼刺激，会帮助到你在未来成长的时候，你会产生更大的一个进步的幅度。跟你越晚介入的人相比的话，事实上你及早介入、尽快介入的话，你能产生的这个空间是比较大的。
So in this graph, very interesting to see that when you're in early teenage age, okay, if you engage in any physical activities and also any resistance training, okay, your improvement is drastically higher steepness, okay, compared to others. And then when you get to the late teenage time period, okay, you're going to be very high, okay, compared to somebody who just started out from here, okay. And then when you look at adulthood age here, okay, this is where the big difference shows that the people who don't engage in any physical activities, you stop here. The person who started out on a later stage, here, okay? And then the people who start in an early age, the physical capabilities are a lot higher than compared to those two.
好，这张图稍微再做更仔细的说明。如果你尽早的介入肌力体能训练是这个蓝色的值，我们看一下，如果你尽早介入的话，到青少年阶段你已经比在青少年阶段才介入的已经多了一个很大的一块的这个成长空间，但甚至到了成年阶段，这个差异更明显了。那如果你是没有任何，你只做运动，你没有介入任何的肌力体能训练的话，你看这个差别有多大？这一条红色线虚线的红色线是指青少年之后才介入。这个是指青少年之前就介入的，所以这个差别是非常明显。所以由这张图证实了，及早的开始正确的肌力体能训练，事实上帮你的孩子在最后在成长在成人阶段的时候，会跟比较晚介入的，甚至没有介入的，会产生非常大的一个差异。
And again, I'm going to mention about more from the health and fitness perspective. The kids who don't play sports or any physical activities, this is the dots that you're going to see, okay? So when you get to the adulthood, okay, their neuromuscular performance, okay, to be able to do the daily tasks is going to decline when you get to the adult age. So that is why it's so important to engage in physical activity.
甚至呢，我们上面稍微提到，对于一般的所谓 general pop 一般人来说，如果你根本没有做任何的运动啊，也没有做任何平常没有运动习惯的话，你到了成人阶段的时候，你的神经系统的控制，光是面对日常生活能力哦， 到了成人之后会开始比快开始下降，所以这也就证明了为什么运动习惯对所有人都这么的重要。
Okay. So let's take a look at the true benefits of weight training. Like I mentioned, the Peak Force offers training service to a lot of the teenagers in the school system. We train a lot of athletes now in a different discipline. Okay? The reason why we do weight training is not only for them to perform very well, but there's a lot of health benefits. By doing the weight training, we can actually prevent some of the injury that's commonly seen in the teenagers, like in the shoulder, elbow, knees, ankle, because the weight training actually helps to strengthen not only the muscle, but also the tendon and the ligaments.
因为重量训练会帮助你的肌肉韧带结缔组织的发展跟强化，所以也因为这样子呢，会帮助你在各个关节，包括肩膀、手肘、膝盖跟脚踝这些部位的强化，减少运动伤害的可能性。
When we talk about the weight training, some parents even ask me, "Oh, the weight training not good because it makes you really tight, okay, bulky, okay?" It's not the case, okay? It actually makes you more flexible by doing a lot of the functional training, okay? The machine exercise, I don't recommend for the youth athletes because the machine exercise, first of all, those machines are designed for the adult body. So when the kids try to use, it doesn't fit. But also machine exercise only for the certain range of motion. That is part of the reason that the people think that they get tighter body because you only can move a limited range of motion.
很多人呢，刚刚也提到，很多人说做重训会让肌肉变紧绷，会让你的这个柔软度变差，这个完全是个谬误事实上呢，扎克萨我刚刚提到，他不太建议青少年运动员用机器来训练，就是所谓健身房的机器，因为健身房的机器，第一个它设计的这个所谓长度、宽度、高度都是以一般成人的这个身体的这个指标为基础，也就是说它要有长模嘛，它必须要考虑到这些一般人的高度。那你青少年运动员在这个部分都比较可能比较矮、比较短，然后所以不见得适合用机器的。第一个，第二个更重要的原因是因为机器的训练呢，它只训练某一个角度，所以它只训练你某一个角度的时候，事实上跟我们所要的这个能力是不一样的。我们真的要的是一个所谓叫做 functional training， 但是我要是一个身体完整的可以完成某一个工作或完成某一个动作的能力，所以它的牵连的会是多关节、多肌肉群的，不会是单一肌肉群、单一关节的。
Okay. So how to find the correct way to help your kids? Okay, as I mentioned, you have to seek for professional help. Okay, the Google is not your professional help. Okay, you have to have a very good understanding. If you have a very good knowledge, okay, the Google can help you. But I really doubt that the people have that expert's knowledge to determine whether this information is correct or wrong, right? So you have to seek for professional help with people who have certifications and then also sufficient amount of experience.
再一次呢，大特沙罗建议大家不要轻易的透过 Google 得到你要的答案，除非你是一个知识相当丰富、相当丰沛、非常了解这个领域的人，否则你 Google 到资讯其实是没有能力做出正确与否的判断的。另外，他还是强烈建议去找到你住家附近你能够接触到的专业人士，请他们来协助你，这才是一个正确的方式。
The weight training does not mean that you do the training with the machines, and then that's a common perception that people have. The way we use the term weight training is not only for the specific exercises, it's a motor pattern specific exercise. So when I have those elementary school badminton kids, we do a lot of stuff. We use the resistance bands, we use a medicine ball, we use the cones to do agility drills. We do a lot of motor pattern development because those kids need those type of stimulus rather than using the machines with weights, okay? So that's not the exercise selection that I'm going for. I'm looking at more the motor pattern development exercises.
好，我们这边所提到的重量训练，并不是在机器上面做那种这个单肌肉单关节的这个动作。我们还是希望是一个能够让你产生整个动作模式、动力链能够运用的一个训练的方法。 所以不管是训练羽毛球选手啊，或者训练速度滑冰的这些选手，我们都考虑的是全身的力量的整合跟输出，而不是单一关节、单一肌肉。
Okay. So I want to share that the Peak Force Facebook page have a series of exercise videos that you can access to watch. Okay. I encourage you guys to visit and then listen to the tutorial for specific sports, but also just simply looking at some of the exercises we post. And then these are very essential information for some of the parents and coaches who are looking for some good information about how to train the junior athletes.
那最后呢 ，Dr. Sato 呢，欢迎大家到 Peak Force 的脸书啊，我们有非常多的教学影片，免费的供给给大家。讲到一些观念上的啦，或者是讲到一些动作模式上的啦，这些各位的家长跟教练都可以到脸书上去看，能够增进各位在这方面的相关的知识。
Okay. I hope the information is helpful for some of the parents and coaches to understand. What I'm trying to inform people watching this video is it's evidence-based information, not somebody's opinion. And then this is important that it's coming from the science to provide sufficient information.
那最后呢，Sato还要提醒大家，就是说呢，我们所提到这些动作模式跟讲的这些观念，都是有一定的理论基础在后面支撑着。那我们希望大家藉由这样的知识的学习，可以增加大家的这个知识量，也帮助你们的孩子的训练。那同时，再次的强调呢，希望大家要了解这些知识基础的重要性，而不是只是在 Google 上面找到一些似是而非的这些资讯。
Okay. And of course, you know, even in the later days or now, that if we have any questions coming in, we would like to answer and help to clear your questions.
好，不管是现在要问问题，或者是接下来就大家重新看影片之后啊，如果有些问题，请大家随时发问，我们都很乐意为大家来解答。So some people say the push-up. So we consider push-up as kind of a weight training methodology.
Weight training, of course, your body weight is a resistance. We set up a lot of exercise routine using your own body weight. Okay, some people call it core training, which is to use the core to stabilize your body, but the resistance is your body weight. Okay, of course, that's safe and effective if it's done properly.
所以前几天有个朋友说呢，伏地挺身算不算是weight training一种？刚大师已经解答了，因为你自身重量本来就是重量的一种，所以只要这个指导是在正确的这个教练指导下面呢，透过伏地挺身的训练，也是一种重量训练。